We just covered the push-up. If you haven't seen that video, I've posted it in our private group if you're a private client. Also on our Thrive YouTube page as well too. Simple correction for many of you who have that sort of break in the hips that I talked about during our video. So let me show you what that looks like again. So you initiate your push-up and you start your push-up, but notice how there is a break in the hips. So as I'm doing my push-up, there's a break in the hips, and as I mentioned, this would not allow for proper transference, and that means we're not using our core correctly. It's going to make it very hard to progress to a full push-up as well too. So let me talk about some easy ways to fix this. And there's actually one fix that's pretty straightforward. You might need to film yourself to see that you're getting it right. First things first, if you're wearing a shirt or pants, sometimes it's easiest to tuck your shirt in so it's easy to see if you're breaking. So I've gone ahead and done that so you can see quite clearly if there's a break in my pants or not. This is going to be very important. The other thing you want to do is get into tall kneeling position. So this is essentially tall kneeling right here. I'm going to show you from side view so it's very, very clear. A lot of people, if you look down over here, look at the crease line, it's on a slant. Lots of people are very extended. For us to get neutral, an easy tell is if our pant line is parallel to the floor. So if I was to draw a straight line here, it should match the same angle of the floor, which is nice and flat. Okay? So the first cue we like to work on is pulling up your belt line. One of the things I like to coach my clients on is working on this cue independent of doing a push-up. Understanding what we call motor control, which is a fine control of small segments and joints. This drill right here, where you're just controlling your pelvis, is to me something that's really, really powerful because this cue will come into play with many different exercises. So spend some time working on tall kneeling and just understand how to get to neutral. Some people are going to overcompensate with different parts of the body and you don't want to do that, but if you have some patience and you slowly work on this, the control of your pelvis will get better with time. I oftentimes find working on a good exhale, simultaneously pulling up my belt line, allows me to drop my rib cage as I'm exhaling while pulling my belt line up. Okay, you might feel your glutes contract when you're doing this, you might feel a stretch in the front of your hips. That's all good. For the bent knee push-up, what you need to do is from this point, replicate this motion of push-up without a break. And what I want you guys to do watching this video is ignore everything from my knees down. Ignore my calves, ignore my shins and my feet. Look at my knee up to my head. This is what the bent knee push-up is. So if you were able to pull your belt line up and make this motion in tall kneeling, you have the ability to do this on the ground with a standard push-up. It's just a matter of slowing it down. So this is solely for the bent knee push-up. Start with your hands or your wrist joint directly under your shoulders. This is very important. So I don't want your hands out in front. I don't want them too close. Directly under your shoulders and slightly outside of shoulder distance. And establish tall kneeling position. So this is tall kneeling right here. Belt line up, neutral, straight line from my ear down to my knee. Establish the same position here as well too. This is how we're going to do it. All fours, hands are under my shoulders. Now watch this. I'm just going to pull my belt line up and lower my hips, but my hands don't move. Just keep on lowering your hips. Lower your hips until you are neutral. And this is now officially the best spot to start your push-up in. Pull your belt line up, stay strong in your hands, and just lower yourself down to the ground, and then back up. And you may find doing it correctly, this is extremely hard, and you can't get one rep. That's fine. I'd rather you be in the right place. So if you're in that boat where you can't get one rep, because you're using the right form, it's too hard, work on this. So all fours, knees under hips, hands on the shoulders. Now you're going to drive your hips forward with your hands not moving, find neutral. And all you're going to work on is keeping weight on your hands, especially on the pinky side of your hand. And focus on being able to lower down to the ground and then come on back up. You may need to adjust your hands a little bit to find spot that's easier on your wrist. Some of you guys don't have great wrist mobility. That's fine. So play around with what's the right distance for you. But once you find that, get neutral, and just practice lowering down slow. You can stop here, come on back up, and then try it again. When you practice the lowering portion of your push-up, you actually will get better, and you'll get stronger over time. Once you have a few of those down, you can practice half reps and eventually build your range of motion. But what I like to do is just work on the lowering first for a little while. You'll actually get stronger that way. In a week's time, you'll be able to do one, then practice it throughout the day. Try and practice one push-up every hour or 2 hours. Just one perfect push-up. You'll find your strength building over time, and then you'll be able to do 2, then 3, and then your full workout. Try that out. If you have any questions, let me know.